Kayla, it's Coach Li. Just want to look at your video and talk to you about some things we talked about at our hitting clinic today. There's 4 main corrections I'd like you to think about. One is staying tall. Okay, if you see your swing, there's a lot of downward and upward standing up going on, right? A lot of, you're tall here, and then we kind of drop down, and then we start to come forward, and then we start to stand up, and it's just a lot of, instead of that direction, instead of like all this stuff, we kind of want you to go like stay tall like you are here, and just go straight back, straight forward, hip to hip, knee to knee, maintaining most of the height that you see at your eye level kind of steady instead of sitting down so much and digging into the ground. So let's take a look at that. If we look at your swing, let's go to your first swing. I think that's your first. Okay, here comes your first swing. So here's your eye level, right? Your eye level starts right here. And here's where your hip is. Let's see what happens to your hip. Your hip loads back. Good job. See how you sit back on your hip? You're loading your body weight. Your eye level, you got really low because you're just bending a little bit too much, really sitting down a little too much. I want you to maintain your height a little bit more because you're a tall kid and I want you to use that height to hit the ball over the fence. So try to stay, not to squat so much, but stay tall a little bit. And that's, you know, once you get low, if you think about it, let's say the top of the strike zone is right where your logo is. So if a pitch, a rise ball comes right here, you have to hit that ball. And the more you sit underneath it, now if it's a really fast rise ball pitcher, you're going to have to bring your elbows and your hands all the way up to hit that rise ball, and you might skin it and flare a pop-up. So had you just stayed tall, right, somewhere around here, and that rise ball comes in right here, you can just go like straight back, load, and go straight forward to it and hit it clear towards the middle, bottom half of the ball for a nice rising line drive. So stay tall will help you hit more pitches. It'll also give you more power. Instead of your power going down and up and around, your power is going to load back and launch forward, kind of like a slingshot. We want to launch forward because that's the direction where the ball's coming from. The ball's here coming in this direction, so we want to meet it in the opposite direction to have as much force as possible. Second thing I want to talk to you about are your elbows, okay? Your elbows are kind of like an uneven rooftop right here, whoop, right? And I want you to drop that back elbow and make it more of like a an even rooftop. You see what I mean? Like an even rooftop where it's even, right? If you're even, boom, your both elbows will be at the top of the strike zone. So your back elbow right now likes to pop kind of up into the air a little bit. Remember I said as you go back, you load back, you kind of elbow someone that you don't like who's standing behind you. You kind of like take them out, bah! And that's not really going to help you. All you're doing is creating like this unnecessary torque, this rotational torque in your load, which means you're probably going to unload, torquing and twisting off a little bit, maybe hitting some balls down at the first base side, and you want to go up the middle as much as possible. So also when you elbow that person behind you that you don't like, right, boom, all that torso rotation causes your shoulders to kind of lean forward or tilt in towards the ball, right? But in reality, the ball is coming from here. So I want your vision going that way. I want your shoulder to shoulder staying forward. If I say challenge the pitcher, I want that front shoulder and that back shoulder lined up, challenging the pitcher as much as possible. And so try to take away some of that torso rotation in the core and make sure that you're, instead of, you know, aggressively flying the elbow out, you don't want to be aggressive right now. You're just in phase 1, which is getting ready and set. So you just want to load back, relax, and focus more so on getting the laser, that neutral knob. When you load back on that hip, shine that laser beam towards the catcher's opposite shin guard, right? And then focus on your power, your back elbow, right? Again, should be an even rooftop, right? Elbow stay even, don't lift the elbow. But focus on your elbow coming forward. The back elbow should come forward into hip. That's where you want to be strong and powerful. You want to be relaxed, loading back, and powerful going forward, getting that back elbow into your hip. I call that skipping a rock, when your elbow connects into your hip. Boom, good skip a rock, good job, okay? Again, this whole like up and down with the elbow was all this up and down motion of our swing, and I just want your elbows to stay kind of more even, so it's more of like a straight back, straight forward elbow into the hip, connecting to the plane of the pitch, staying in the hitting zone instead of coming down on the ball too much, okay? So that's the elbows. It's also going to help you if you try to keep your knocking knuckles lined up a bit more. You can try to line up the white on your batting gloves, the knuckles a bit more will help you. And the third thing, let's take a look at basically your front toe, okay? Your feet. This should be your first thing actually, but I'll just talk about now. Your feet are kind of wide, and I want you to bring your feet in a little bit. Maybe bring your front foot in maybe to like here, right? So that your stance width is a little bit shorter, right? And when your feet are, let's say these are your feet are kind of under your body, you're gonna have more balance. You know what I mean? Right now, your front foot is kind of starting so wide, right? That your feet are kind of like outside your body. So when you take a step even further, your feet are like out here, you know what I mean? And, you know, with all this distance from here all the way to here, it's just, your feet are so, like you're in the splits a little bit. And it's hard to stay balanced and tall when your feet are that far outside your body. So I would start by bringing your feet in a little bit so that you're going to have more balance. And the reason why is because look when you take your stride foot with your front foot, okay? Look what happens here. Look how your toe angle lands a little bit open, okay? I want your toe angle to be neutral on the landing a bit. All right, so neutral feet when you first land. Of course, the strength, the force of your swing should open that toe angle to 45 degrees, so you don't have pressure on your knee. But I don't want you to land with that toe open, right there, open. I want you to be kind of like straight and let the force of your knee to knee, hip to hip, drive that toe to 45 degrees, all right? Secondly, look at your back foot. Your back foot, since your feet are so wide, your back foot, when you drive through, isn't able to really pivot. It kind of gets stuck in the mud. You know what I mean? It's muddy out there today. It was raining. I want that pivot foot to come through and finish towards like the opposite middle infielder, like the shortstop. But as you can see, your toe kind of like tries to come through and it gets stuck. Why? Because your feet are so wide, you don't have any balance, okay? So bring that front foot in a little bit so that your range of motion can drive through on the back toe, which will help you get your hip through and will help you stay balanced. Right now when you swing, I want you to be on this pole, but you're a little bit reclined because your feet are so wide you don't really have much balance from the lower body to support your upper body. So I mean, you'll see that as we go along in these different swings. And boom, not bad posture, pretty good. Let's take a look at the first swing. First swing, there's a little bit of recline here, and I'd rather you be straight up and down on the green line. That's where we want to be. We want to be able to bring our abs forward. We don't want your back falling back. We don't want you to fall backwards, right? We want you to be nose right above the belly button, straight line going up and down, and throwing your abs, there's a straight line right here. There we go, there's a straight line. We want you kind of like your nose to catch up forward, your abs forward. And in order to do that, you got to have a really good stable foundation. In order to have that stable foundation, you got to bring your feet in a little bit so your feet are under your body so that you can have balance. The last thing, this is for power, okay? Your fourth thing is watch your hip. Okay, so here we go. Here's your back hip. This is your starting point, right? What does your hip do? Good job. You take a nice load, loading your weight back, right? then you load your weight back to, let's say, all the way to here, right? Oh, sorry. Let's try that again. Your back hip started here. It goes all the way to here. And then what happens? It goes forward to, whoop, boom, all the way to here. So essentially your hip, your body weight shifted from this back green line all the way to this red line. And that hip shift is power into the ball, except for the fact that you haven't even started your swing yet. So all of this hip shift coming through, guess what? It has not gone into the ball. And once you're done with watch your front foot, toe, heel, plant, right? Toe, heel, plant. Once you plant, once you plant, now you can swing. But before you've planted and taken your swing, you've already wasted all your body weight shifting forward. You've already transferred your weight. So now you're stuck with, watch how your hip, now that you're going to swing, can't travel anymore. It's done traveling for the most part. You know what I mean? It comes through a little bit, but not by much. And now you're stuck with only swinging with your upper body power. And that's the reason why you're swinging so hard and not getting the result that I know you own in your swing. And it's because there's such a jump, early jump. Okay, we talked about testing the water versus jumping in the pool. What the heck does that mean when it comes to hitting? Okay, so if it's really cold outside, you want to test the water, the swimming pool, you would just bring your front toe forward to test the water. But right now, you're like jumping forward, you're moving forward, you're moving your body weight from here all the way to here. You've jumped into the pool before you even put that foot down, and it's like splash in the pool. And that's just my analogy of saying, stay back, bud. Keep your weight back. Keep your weight back as much as you can until that front foot independently moves an inch or so and gets that toe heel plant, 2-foot foundation. And with that, once that happens, then you're able to really drive your hip to hip, knee to knee as the bat comes through to the ball and get your lower and upper body weight into the pitch. Okay? So that's a quick synopsis. Basically, we talked about 4 things. I kind of taught them out of order, so let me teach them now in order. First thing, take care of the feet. Bring the feet in. All right? So you're going to have more balance, more control of your body. And make sure that with your feet you land with that neutral toe angle, okay, so that you can push the toe open as you're pushing into your swing, but don't land open. So that way it'll be more balanced. Next thing is get that even rooftop going on that we talked about with the elbows. Try to make sure that your elbows are even instead of, basically your back elbow flies up and like takes up like that, because that's not really going to help you. If anything, you're going to be doing a up and down loopy swing instead of driving right through the ball. All right, try not to elbow the person behind you. Next thing we talked about is keep your weight back all the way into your toe touch heel plant so you can drive your weight into the ball right when the swing is happening. All right, then you can use your upper and lower body weight. And I think the 4th thing was just, basically, keeping that front toe angle neutral as you drive through, and making sure that you're staying tall, not like sinking down into your load and standing up in your swing, but maintaining your height, using the height that you naturally have, because it's really intimidating to see a hitter that can stand tall. There's hitters like Kayla Rosado, people out of college that like to squat a little bit, but you know what? We're still in high school, we're still developing our swing. I think it's best for us to just kind of drive through the ball and stay in the hitting zone and use our height. All right, so any questions, email me at info@lisoftballacademy.com. Good job, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye.